तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are in the conversations of 9th May 1885. And in Girish's house, lot of singing has been done, and Thakur, as a result, was long time in Samadhi, and with great difficulty he has come down. And we are towards the end of page 775. We are going back a little, a few lines. So we are in bottom of page 775. And Bengali 830. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, we take from here, the master was gradually regaining consciousness of the outer world. Looking at the devotees, he said, years ago, I used to be amazed to see people keeping kai fish alive in a pot of water. I would say, how cruel these people are. They will finally kill the fish. But later, as changes came over my mind, I realized that bodies are like pillowcases. It doesn't matter whether they remain or drop off. So, this Thakur realized after Brahmagyan that bodies are like pillowcases. When the knowledge has dawned, then they remain or gone. That means, what is the implication? That previously he was felt offended or disturbed if he thought that people kill fish. That means in Bengal, fish is almost a common diet. So for that diet, they have to be killed. And it is a very ordinary thing for a Bengalis to kill a fish. But even that ordinary thing, Thakur could not bear. He was, you may say, against such a killing. That was the point. And now he has gone to such an extent that whether anybody's body remains or not does not matter. So not only fish, but man's body. The purpose in man's body is the realization of God. So if that is achieved, then body has no meaning. And this Sri Ramakrishna realized by his absolute samadhi. Now, the implication, Bhavanath, we have found always, is a boy of tender mind. And so, of all people, it affected him. And so he asked a question, Bhavanath, then may one injure a man without incurring sin? So he thinks that injuring man is sin. But different states of the mind, a different concept of virtue and sin happen that he has not yet recognized. And in most of the world, people cannot understand that. They can understand worldly life, they can understand struggler's life, but they cannot understand the man whose life is fulfilled. That is categorically different from the struggler's life. And so, in struggler's life, Thakur was aghast if somebody killed a fish. But in the life of a person of realization, there is nothing. It is absolutely trash. Body is absolutely trash. So, this big jump, very few people, even among the strugglers, realize. So, it is very essential in our scriptures, everywhere, we'll find the description of the life of a man of realization, so that we will not have a limited ideas about spirituality. So that is the thing going on here. Bhavanath asked, then may one injure a man without incurring sin? Kill him? Injure? Kill him? Master, yes, it is permissible if one has achieved that state of mind. So, never can you pass a general rule in spiritual life. That is the most important thing. For what is good or what is bad in spiritual life? That which takes you to God is good. That which takes you away from God is bad. And if you realize, then nothing will take you away from God. That is the meaning of the realizing the identity. So, this gradation only in the supreme example of Thakur we see. People are generally stuck to one idea, one level of consciousness, and they think the lower are wrong, the higher are wrong, that level of consciousness alone is true, and their angle alone is true. That is the common man. So, in contrast, it is important to know what the man of realization is like. Yes, it is permissible if one has achieved that state of mind, but not everyone has it. So, we cannot apply that to people. It is the state of Brahmajnana. Now, he describes various steps, various levels of mind. By coming down a step or two from samadhi, I enjoy bhakti and bhakta. So, because he has realized everything, he need not tell in a third person or in a principle, he tells I. But coming down a step or two from samadhi, I enjoy bhakti and bhakta. There exists in God both vidya and avidya. Vidya Maya, so when he says Vidya and Avidya, he means Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. Vidya Maya leads one to God and Avidya Maya away from Him. Knowledge, devotion, compassion, and renunciation belong to the realm of Vidya Maya. With the help of these, a man comes near God. One step more and he attains God. Near God, one step more and he attains God. Knowledge of Brahman, he attains God. That means knowledge of Brahman he attains. In that state, he clearly feels and sees that it is God who has become everything. So that is the supreme state. God, after realizing the transcendent nature of God, to see that God is absolutely all pervading. In that state, he clearly feels and sees that it is God who has become everything. He has nothing to give up and nothing to accept. So, no sadhana for him, no good and bad to be for him. It is impossible for him to be angry with anyone. So, one of the imperfections is anger. And normally we'll say anger is bad. No, what to the man of realization? It is not possible for him to be angry because he sees God everywhere. We have very clear example of this. Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, Swami Advaitananda, used to work very hard in the vegetable garden of Belur Math. Now youngsters could not match his energy and dedication. So there is to be not that much sincere labor from them. So he one day felt he should scold everybody for that. But before he could do so, he saw who are they? They are nothing but God in so many forms. So he could not be angry. Another example, Swami Saradananji was naturally very, very calm mind. But even that one day, when he entered the Thakur shrine, the old shrine in Belur Math, he saw mud marks there. He understood that the cooks who bring the food offering for Thakur have left that mud mark. So he became so upset that the supreme reality and they have made that flooring dirty. So he, in a loud voice, shouted, Thakur, that means the cook. But by the time cook arrived, that anger wave was finished. And he said, nothing, you go about your work. He even did not point out that you do not do such thing. So, anger is not possible. This is known by the exception, that anger appears and disappears immediately. One day, I was riding in a carriage. So, what this very thing, how blessed is that life which sees God. Now, everything we have said, but in virtuous man as well as in sinners, he does not see the sinners, he sees God manifested. That is the blessed state. People can never understand this. One day I was riding in a carriage. I saw two prostitutes standing on a veranda. They appeared to me to be embodiments of the Divine Mother herself. I saluted them. So not only thought, but it came into the action also. When I first attained this exalted state, I could not worship Mother Kali or give her the food offering, so all duality is lost. Haradari and Hriday told me that on account of this, the temple officer had slandered me. But I only laughed. So neither that thing nor slander, nothing affected him, but I only laughed. I wasn't in the least angry. So some people, for action, they will not be angry. But somebody does not understand that and scolds them, they understand that he is not able to understand, and so they are not angry. Attain Brahmajnana and then roam about enjoying God's Leela. That means God appears as this world without changing himself, that is Leela. A holy man came to a town and went about seeing the sights. He met another sadhu, an acquaintance. The latter said, I see, you are gadding around. You are gadding about. Where is your baggage? I hope no thief has stolen it. The first sadhu said, not at all. First I found a lodging, put my things in the room in proper order, and then locked the door. Now I am enjoying the fun of the city. Allah. So, Thakur's story. So actually, lodging in that thing means attaining Brahmajnana. That is the most solid footing. Now you can roam about without any worry, without any anxiety, without any fear. So that state, Thakur is beautifully describing through his own life. Bhavanath. These are very lofty words. So this Bhavanath could understand. M to himself. Tasting God's Leela after Brahmajnana. Climbing down to the ordinary plane of consciousness after the attainment of Samadhi. So for Master, this was a thought to be seriously thought about. So he is recapitulating within his own mind. Master to him and others. Is it an easy thing to obtain the knowledge of Brahman? Because Thakur's talk makes it appear. Thakur easily got it. So we feel it is easy thing. So Thakur is warning us, it is not easy. Because if you do not get, don't shout. It is difficult. Is it an easy thing to obtain the knowledge of Brahman? It is not possible unless the mind is annihilated. Desires are always in the mind. If the mind is annihilated, then you get Brahmajnana. The Guru said to his disciple, give me your mind and I shall give you knowledge. So knowledge, worldly knowledge we gain through our mind. But supreme knowledge we do not gain through our mind. Supreme knowledge we get by identifying with it. And mind has the habit of dividing. So Guru said, give me your mind. And then you will attain Brahmajnana. In this case, in this state, one enjoys only spiritual talk and the company of devotees. When he comes down from the Brahmajnana, he cannot enjoy things of the world. To Ram, you are a physician, you know that medicine works only when it mixes with the patient's blood and becomes one with it. Then only it works. So when Brahmajnana becomes saturated in his personality, then these things happen. Likewise, in the state of Brahmajnana, one sees God both within and without. One sees that it is God himself who has become the body, mind, life, and soul. So everything is God himself, M to himself. That means M thinks it is assimilation. In Bengali book, this word is given in English only. Master, A man attains Brahmajnana as soon as his mind is annihilated. With the annihilation of the mind dies the ego. Ego is Brahman's reflection in the mind. Annihilation of the mind dies the ego which says, I. One also attains the knowledge of Brahman by following the path of devotion. It happens constant talk. That he describes knowledge, Brahmajnan, and then he says, following the path of devotion also you will attain that. And this is speciality of Thakur. One also attains it by following the path of knowledge. That means I am not saying that devotion only. Devotion also, knowledge also. That is to say, discrimination. That is the point of knowledge which sadhak requires. The jnani is discriminate, jnani, mode of mind. Saying, neti neti, that is all this is illusory like a dream. They analyze the world through the process of not this, not this. It is maya, unreal, mixture of real and unreal. When the world vanishes, and that is so real for them that the world vanishes from their mind. When the world vanishes, only the jivas, that is to say, so many egos remain. What has vanished? World has vanished. Now egos remain as reflection of one consciousness. Now explain that point. Each ego may be likened to a pot. Suppose there are 10 pots filled with water and the sun is reflected in them. That is what is our ego. How many suns do you see? Conscious principles. A devotee. 10 reflections. Besides, there certainly exists the real sun. Master, suppose you break one pot. How many suns do you see now? Gradually, he is making you realize. Disciple, 9 reflected suns, but there constantly exists the real sun. Constantly. Master, all right. Suppose one breaks 9 pots. How many suns do you see then? See now? Devotee. One reflected sun, but there certainly exists the real sun. Master, to Girish, what remains when the last pot is broken? Because that is happening to Girish, he will catch it, so he talks to Girish. Girish, that real sun, sir? Master, no. We never could see real sun. We see it through its reflections. So he was seeing the reflections and assuming that the real sun is there. Now, if there is no reflection, where does he see? An important thing. Body is necessary to realize God. Beyond that, it is not necessary. Till then, it is necessary. Master, no. What remains cannot be described. What is remains. That which is not goes away. How will you know there is a real sun unless there is a reflected sun? So that sun we do not see at all. But when we see this, we know that that is there. If nothing is seen here, then we cannot say that something is there. What remains cannot be described. What is remains. How will you know that is a real sun unless there is a reflected sun? I consciousness is destroyed in samadhi. A man climbing down from samadhi to the lower plane cannot describe what he has seen there. That he cannot describe. because the describer is lost. It was late in the evening. Lamps were burning in the drawing room. Sri Ramakrishna was in a spiritual mood. The devotees sat around him to catch that spiritual mood. Master in the ecstatic mood. There is no one else here. That means outsiders are not there. Those who cannot understand are not there. There is no one else here. So I am telling you this to the selected few who are there. We can appreciate Thakur. He who from the depth of his soul seeks to know God. Two sentences, extremely important. We can engrave that in our mind. He who from the depth of his mind, soul, seeks to know God will certainly realize it. Certainly. He must. He alone who is restless for God and seeks nothing from but him will certainly realize him. So two sentences. One who from the depth of his soul seeks to know God will certainly realize him. And one who is restless for God and seeks nothing else, nothing other than him, nothing but him, will certainly realize him. So, immortal sentences, if we do not realize, we have to check our own sincerity. Those who belong to this place, that means those who follow Sri Ramakrishna. Those who belong to this place have already come. Those who will come from now on are outsiders. Such people will come more now and then. Such people will come now and then. The Divine Mother will tell them, do this, call on God in this way. Divine Mother inside Thakur, that is the meaning. Why doesn't man's mind dwell on God? You see, more powerful than God is his Mahamaya. Actually, God is more powerful, but in the life of man, it appears Mahamaya is more powerful. His power of illusion, more powerful than the judge, is his orderly Allah. So, a Laukik simile is given. Anyway. Rama said to Narada, I am very much pleased with your prayer. Ask a boon of me. Narada replied, O Rama, may I have pure devotion to you, to your lotus feet, and may I not be deluded by your world bewitching Maya. Rama said, be it so. Ask for something else? Narada replied, no, Rama, I do not want any other boon. He is describing the ideal devotee. Everyone is under the spell of this world bewitching Maya. When God assumes a human body, he too comes under the spell. Apparently, Rama wandered about weeping for Sita. Brahman weeps entangled in the snare of five elements. But you must remember this, God by his mere will can liberate himself from this snare. So it will appear that he is bound, but you can leave it at any time, not like other people. Bhavanath. The guard of a railway train shuts himself of his own within a wheel, within a carriage, but he can get out whenever he wants to. A similar example is found. Master, the Ishwar Koti is universal mind in an individual body. The Ishwar Kotis, divine incarnations, for instance, other than divine incarnation, also there are Ishwar Kotis, can liberate themselves whenever they want to. So they assume and they can leave. Yeah. Gary, how I lost it. Gary, lost. Narada replied, Rama said, be it so. Asked for something else. Narada replied, no, Rama, I do not want any other boon. Everyone is under the spell of this world, bewitching Maya. When God assumes a human body, he too comes under the spell. Rama wandered about weeping for Sita. Brahman weeps, entangled in the snare of the five elements. But you must remember this, God by his mere will can liberate himself from this snare. Okay. Bhavanath. The guard, he gives example for that. The guard of a railway train shuts himself of his own will in a carriage, but he can get out whenever he wants to. Master, we are here. The Ishwar Kotis, divine incarnations, for instance, can liberate themselves whenever they want to. But the Jiva Kotis cannot. Jiva are imprisoned by woman and gold. When the doors and windows of a room are fastened with screws, how can a man get out? Bhavana smiling. Ordinary men are like the third-class passengers on a railway train. When the doors of their compartments are locked, they have no way to get out. That was the old method, and now there is no third class in Indian railways. Girish. Girish, our questions are about his own struggle. So after listening to all this, Girish asks, if a man is so strongly tied hand and feet, then what is his way? Master, he has nothing to fear if God himself as the Guru cuts the chain of Maya. So, God himself as the Guru. Sri Ramakrishna is both God and Girish's Guru. That is the meaning, that is the implication. Oh, we have come to the end of that chapter. So, we enter the next chapter, chapter 41, at Ram's house, Saturday, May 23, 1885. So, after 9th May, we have jumped to 23. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in the drawing room on the ground floor of Ram's house. He was surrounded by devotees and was conversing with them. Mahima sat in front of him, Mahima Charana. M to his left, Paltu, Bhavanath, Nitya Gopal, Harmohan, and a few others sat around him. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The master inquired after several devotees. That is his love. Huh? Master to him, hasn't the younger Naren arrived yet? Presently, the younger Naren entered the room. Master, what about him? Him. Who, sir? What about him? That means Naren has come. But about somebody else, Thakur is asking. M. Who, sir? Master. Kishori. Kishori is Master Maharaj's younger brother or Master Maharaj's brother-in-law also. Both of them were devotees, but brother-in-law more so. Kishori. Isn't Girish Chandra coming? Girish Ghosh coming? What about Narendra? A few minutes later, Narendra arrived and saluted Sri Ramakrishna, Master to the devotees. It would be fine if Kedar were here. He agrees with Girish. To Mahima, smiling, he said the same thing. That avatar, Thakur is avatar. Ram had arranged the kirtan. With folded hands, the musician said to Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, I can begin if you give the order. The master drank some water and chewed spices from a small bag. He asked them to close the bag. Mundane activities within that time. The musician started the kirtan. Obviously, Sri Ramakrishna master said, okay, go ahead. As Sri Ramakrishna heard the sound of the drum, he went into an ecstatic mood. While listening to the prelude of the kirtan, he plunged into deep samadhi. He placed his legs on the lap of Nitya Gopal and was sitting near him. Not face to face, sitting near him. He placed his legs on the lap of Nitya Gopal, who was sitting near him. So all these are tricks of transferring power. The devotee too was in an ecstatic mood. That is Master Maharaj himself. He was weeping. The other devotees looked on intently. Regaining partial consciousness, Sri Ramakrishna said, from the Nitya to the Leela, and from the Leela to the Nitya to Nitya Gopal. What is your idea? Nitya Gopal, both are good. Sri Ramakrishna closed his eyes and said, it is only this. Does God exist only where the eyes are closed and cease to exist when the eyes are open? So, after culminating in samadhi, it is immaterial. What is your position? Your seeing is not dependent upon the eyes. He sees through the consciousness at the entire world. Sri Ramakrishna closed his eyes and said, is it only this? Does God even exist only when the eyes are closed and cease to exist when the eyes are open? We close the eyes because we want to avoid our own digressions. It has nothing to do with the nature of God. But people may superimpose. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling. The Leela belongs to him to whom the Nitya belongs, and the Nitya belongs to him to whom the Leela belongs. Then only identity is established when you tell from both sides. To Mahima, my dear sir, let me tell you something. Mahima, revered sir, both are according to the will of God, Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya. Master, some people climb the 7 floors of a building and cannot get down, but some climb up and then at will visit the lower floor. That means hmm, okay. Some people climb the 7 floors of a building and cannot get down, but some climb up and then at will visit the lower floors. Okay. Some cannot, when they go up, their life is over. Uddhava said to the gopis, you know the episode? Gopis are not able to come to Mathura, but lot of reports come that they are weeping. And Krishna has a friend Uddhava, and Uddhava is a jnani type of bhakta. So he cannot understand what is this. So Krishna, in order to teach him as well as others, he said, you go to Vrindavan and find out why they are weeping. So Uddhava said to the gopis, so that is the point. Huh? Because Uddhava knew a lot of medicines also. So he had gone on the pretext of giving medicines to the sick women. Uddhava said to the gopis, he whom you address as your Krishna dwells in all beings. It is he alone who has become the universe and its living beings. So he wants to broaden their outlook. It is he alone who has become the universe and its living being. Therefore, I say, does a man meditate on God only when his eyes are closed? Doesn't he see everything of God whom his eyes are open? So, whether closed or open, he is seeing God everywhere. Mahima, I have a question to ask. Sir, a lover of God needs nirvana sometime or other, doesn't he? Master, it can't be said that bhaktas need nirvana. According to some schools means schools of philosophy. According to some schools, there is an eternal Krishna and there are also his eternal devotees. Krishna is spirit embodied. and his abode also is spirit embodied. Krishna is eternal and the devotees also are eternal. Krishna and the devotees are like the moon and the stars, always near each other. Hmm. Where we missed? Huh? Lost the track. Where I lost the track simply. Uddhava, therefore I say, does a man meditate on God only when his eyes are closed? Does he see anything of God when his eyes are doesn't he see anything of God when his eyes are open? Okay. Let us go back and repeat something. Kishori Raman arranged the music. The master drank some water and chewed spices from a small bag. He asked him to close the bag. The musician started the kirtan. As Sri Ramakrishna heard the sound of the drum, he went into an ecstatic mood. While listening to the prelude of the kirtan, he plunged into deep samadhi. He placed his leg on the lap of Nitya Gopal, who was sitting near him. The devotee, too, was in an ecstatic mood. He was weeping. The other devotees looked on intently. So something seriously happened. Yes. Regaining partial consciousness, Sri Ramakrishna said, from the Nitya to the Leela and from the Leela to the Nitya, to Nitya Gopal. What is your ideal? Nitya Gopal. Both are good. Sri Ramakrishna closed his eyes and said, is it only this? Does God exist only when the eyes are closed and cease to exist when the eyes are open? The Leela belongs to him to whom the Nitya belongs, and the Nitya belongs to him to whom the Leela belongs, to Mahima. My dear sir, let me tell you, before Thakur could complete, Mahima says, revered sir, both are according to the will of God. Master, some people climb the 7 floors of a building and cannot get down, but some climb up and down at will, visit the lower, and at will visit the lower floors. Uddhava said to the gopis, he whom you address as your Krishna dwells in all beings. It is he alone who has become the universe and its living beings. Therefore I say, does a man meditate on God only when his eyes are closed? Uddhava, that much Thakur has taken and is telling about himself. Doesn't he see anything of God when his eyes are open? Mahima. I have a question to ask, sir. A lover of God needs nirvana sometime or other, doesn't he? That is a point. That there may be a lover of God, but some point or the other, does he not want to lose himself in God? Important question. Master, it can't be said that bhaktas need nirvana. According to some schools, there is an eternal Krishna and there are also eternal devotees. They do not believe in Nitya actually. They say Nitya Leela. Leela is Nitya. So, Krishna, this form and this avatar, this is eternal. And his devotees also are eternal. They don't want that devotees lose themselves in Krishna. So, some schools. Krishna is spirit embodied and his abode also is spirit embodied. Real nature. Krishna is eternal and the devotees also are eternal. Krishna and the devotees are like the moon and the stars, always near each other. Beautiful example. Huh? You yourself repeat, what need is there of penance if God is seen within and without? Further, I have told you that the devotee who is born with an element of Vishnu cannot altogether get rid of bhakti. Clear, clear, clear. There are two types of devotees. Born of Shiva, born of Vishnu. Born of Shiva means they want to transcend. Born of Vishnu means they want to live in the all-pervading God. So they don't want to lose themselves. So you cannot make a rule about it. Once I fell into the clutches of a Jnani, that is his sannyas Guru Stotapuri, who made me listen to Vedanta for 11 months. But he couldn't altogether destroy the seed of bhakti in me. No matter where my mind wandered, it would come back to the Divine Mother. Whenever I sang of her, Nanta would weep and say, what is this? So even the Jnani could feel the bhakti through Thakur. You see, he was such a great Jnani and still he wept. To the younger Naren and the others, remember the popular saying that if a man drinks the juice of the alec creeper, a plant grows inside his stomach. Once the seed of bhakti is sown, the effect is inevitable. It will gradually grow into a tree with flowers and fruits. It will fully fructify. You may reason and argue 1,000 times, but if you have the seed of bhakti within you, you will surely come back to him. Hari. The devotees listened silently to the master. Sri Ramakrishna asked Mahima, laughing, what is the thing you enjoy more? So, true, both, he said. More, Mahima smiling. Nothing, sir. I like mango. That means of any type of God, Saguna Nirgun. I think we stop here. ओम तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।